Hello everyone, today I'll be talking about insomnia for my final project. First, I'll explain the general facts and information about insomnia. Next, we'll be looking at the causes and symptoms, then treatment and prevention, and finish off the presentation with the outlook/prognosis and a video for my interview. So let's talk about what insomnia is. Insomnia is a common sleeping disorder. Someone experiencing insomnia will have trouble falling asleep or even staying asleep. This will affect someone's daily life because they would feel sleepy all day. And additionally, people have reported that lack of sleep affects their daily behavior and even their emotions. Surprisingly, insomnia showed a mortality rate of 21% in males and 5% in females. This showed that men are more susceptible compared to females. Globally, there are approximately 237 million people who are experiencing this disorder. In the US alone, 50 million people are experiencing insomnia. Looking at statistics, if you look at the graph on the left, in 2022, as many as 1 in 5 adults in the United States struggle to fall asleep every night. And on top of that, more than a third of US adults struggle to fall asleep at least once a week, and half of US adults experience insomnia once a month, which is about 50%. If you look at the graph on the right, more than 25% in the age group of 18 to 24 experience insomnia every night, making them the most susceptible group in the United States. More statistics show that adults in the south of the United States are most likely to struggle to fall asleep every night, and it is closely followed by the Northeast at 23%. Now, causes and symptoms. There are many factors that can cause someone to experience insomnia. Work, school, health, and financial stress can cause you to stay awake during the night. Work schedule could be such as changing your shift schedules or working at irregular times. Poor sleeping habits could include being on your phone in bed or watching TV while falling asleep. Someone who has a heavy dinner to late night snacks can make someone uncomfortable while lying in bed, and it could also disrupt their sleep. Someone with other mental health disorders such as anxiety or PTSD can interfere with insomnia, and using substances like medication, caffeine, and nicotine could also disrupt someone's sleep schedule. There are various symptoms when someone is experiencing insomnia. Difficulty falling asleep at night, waking up during the night, feeling tired during the day, experiencing depression, having a hard time focusing and paying attention, and increased error during the day can be signs of insomnia. So what are the treatments? There are several treatments, and they're broken down into two big categories. The first is the cognitive behavior therapy, and in those therapy, we could include stimulus control therapy, relaxation techniques, and sleep restrictions. These methods for coaching will help you practice set consistent times, avoid nap, and only be on your bed when you feel sleepy. The second category for treatment is using prescriptions to control your sleep schedule. Various prescriptions are currently out in the market that are being used with the name brand of Lunesta, Rozarem, Sonata, and Amium. One of my friends reported that when he was on these medications, he's experienced nausea and vomiting. So currently he is only on melatonin gummies to support his sleeping schedule. So there are several ways to prevent insomnia. The most important key is to keep consistent bedtime and wake time. You could be active to promote sleep, so regular exercising could promote sleep at night, limiting bad nap time, and also limiting the use of caffeine and alcohol as long as nicotine. So what are the prognosis for insomnia? This is a graph that was taken by a study from a search engine. People have been searching regarding insomnia symptoms and how preventing insomnia, and you could see that it has been a constant growth since the January 2018. So many experts argue that this will be a continuous issue in the United States. Currently, there are drugs that are currently being developed, and recently, a drug called QUVIVIQ has been approved by the FDA in January 2022 and is currently in use. So next, it will be a clip of an interview. So hope you enjoy.
Hi, my name is Stella Sessions, and I suffer from insomnia. how that came about, obviously just lack of sleeping. I have no issue staying asleep, which is really nice because it would be horribly strenuous if I spent hours on end just trying to get my body to go to bed, and then, every hour or so waking up, which I'm lucky enough not to have, but other people are afflicted with. How I knew that I needed to eventually get diagnosed is from probably high school. I've always labeled myself as like a night owl, most productive at night, always waiting tonight to get stuff done. And I didn't really see an issue with that. I knew a lot of people who did that. But then it developed, especially as I got into college and my workload extended. It got into, I was able to very regularly and still do pull all-nighters. And even in cases where an all-nighter wasn't necessary. So in some situations I would be staying up all night doing work, and I would get done at 6 a.m. and in that case, people would go to bed, at least catch a couple hours of sleep. I would just restart my day. And now, like in the summers when I obviously have no work, I will just find myself, nighttime hits, and I will seclude myself in my room, and I will read or write or watch TV or just sit with my cat. And suddenly it'll go from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. and my brain will just be like, oh, time for a new day. Which in a way you could see as a superpower, but not really, because eventually it does affect your functionality. I have a really hard time waking up early because I have a really hard issue going to sleep. Even if I feel tired, as soon as I lay down in my bed and close my eyes, I just lay there. And there have been a lot of times where I will go to bed because I'm tired, and I'll lay there trying to catch some Z's, and it'll be like 1 a.m. and I'm going to bed again, horribly late. And I'll be like, okay, this isn't working. I'll check my phone and it's 4 a.m. So I've just been laying there for 3 hours, not asleep, not really processing time, but not able to go to bed because my brain just won't shut off. And sometimes that's because, thoughts are going, and other times, head completely empty, body just won't shut down. And so I have a really big issue waking up early. When I was working somewhere that I had to do really early shifts, like get in at 6, 7 in the morning, there were a couple times where I just completely overslept, which was not something I wanted to do. And so that affected not only my self-esteem, but also my work ability. I've had classes that are 8 a.m. classes, and even if I desperately need to be at that class and want to be at that class, because of just, me not harnessing enough sleep for my body, it'll do what it naturally needs to do, and it'll account for that sleep. And so I wake up 1, 2 in the afternoon, and so half the day is wasted. And that also accounts for why I stay up so late, because my day is starting much later because of how late I'm ending it. It affects some people with irritability. I wouldn't consider myself an angry person, but I definitely know when I haven't had a lot of sleep, a lot of things will bug me, or I'll be more on edge with things. And especially, it's pretty constant, it's pretty consistent for me, about once a week to pull an all-nighter when I do not need to. No one needs to be pulling all-nighters, first of all, but it's about once a week that I do it unintentionally. But sometimes it'll get up to 2-3 times a week that I'm just like, gosh, it's morning, guess I gotta start the new day. And so when that happens, it affects just my overall demeanor and how I am around people, and I don't want to be irritated with people, and so that's another thing that adds on to it. I'm like, why didn't you go to sleep? And then you try and go to sleep, and you just can't. I've tried melatonin. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on how much I take, but also, it's expensive, and when you're a college student, you can't really afford too many out-of-pocket expenses, or at least I can't. And I would like to say that it hasn't affected at least my schoolwork, because I will use it as a super tool to get my work done. But then that just makes me less attentive in class because I was up all night grinding instead of just taking little sections. So yeah, it's not a positive affliction on life. I obviously still function, but even right now, I'm really tired because I woke up at 2 because I didn't go to bed until 4, even though I was tired at 9. Yeah, it's a struggle.
That's it for the presentation. Thank you for listening.